me ask her. Hey, Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Change the ambient lighting to blue.
Okay, I'm changing the color.
Oh, it's electric.
Do it again.
Hey, Mercedes.
Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to this 2021 Mercedes Benz GLB 250. I have spent over a week in this car, traveled a couple thousand miles, and have got to know it really, really well. I've never aspired or never been that sort of like goo-goo gaga over the Mercedes Benz product line. And it's just a brand that has never quite appealed to me personally. They have so many great cars, of course, and so many different SUVs, it's kind of hard to keep up with them. And however, after spending some time in this GLB, I have become, well, a big fan specifically of this GLB for several reasons. This has the 2-liter turbo. It has uniquely, it has an 8-speed dual clutch transmission, and it pumps out about 221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Very typical of all premium brands 2-liter turbos. And what's other unique about this is just the shape of this thing. So Mercedes-Benz really hit a unique spot as far as shape and size, and they gave it kind of that utilitarian look to it. And when I first saw the GLB, I said, that looks like a really cool sport utility vehicle. It's got that classic 2-box shape to it, and after living in this GLB for a week and spending quite a bit of time of it, this car has so much personality and is such, as you can tell, you don't even have to watch the rest of this video, but please do. As you can tell, a big fan of this because it has personality. If you like something like a Mini Cooper, Countryman, you know, there's a lot of cars out there that just come together with all these great parts and things, and but they just don't have any personality or life. That is not the case with this GLB 250. As you can see, this interior here, we're going to get into this. There's been a lot said about this interior, but it does hit a home run for a lot of reasons. Now, everything's not sunshine and flowers, of course. There are some flaws, and we'll get into that. But let's hop out and take a quick look. This specific GLB, as you can see, love the look of this thing. Absolutely just love the proportions of it. This has the 20-inch upgraded AMG wheels. I'm not sure if these are run flats, but these are 45 profile tires, and I think for this type of car, it really just needs a smaller wheel, a higher profile tire with some more aggressive tread, because this thing has some off-road sort of capability to it. It's rather rugged, and yeah, it I think a better tire, but anyway, you know, more rugged tire would be good. Those are fake exhaust at the bottom there. However, Mercedes has done fake exhausts that actually look real, so if you're gonna have fake ones, you might as well make them look as real as possible. Now, this car is not that long. You know, I can reach in here and grab these seats. There's no way to put those seats down from back here, so this is not, you know, class leading as far as depth. However, it is a big square opening, and when you put the seats down with a strap here, with this big square opening, you get a really usable storage space. No spare tire on this, but you can see the subwoofer down there and an air jack. Pretty fast closing hatch back here. Climb in the back. Another nice thing about this car is, you know, headroom is not an issue. We're not even going to talk about headroom in here, but plenty of leg room. These back seats slide back and forward, and you also can recline them a little bit, which is really nice. Again, this one here has the AMG Appearance Package, which gives you these sort of a combination of sort of MB Tex pleather, with a little bit sort of an Alcantara cloth feel there, and also in the door inlays with the red stitching. Backseat passengers are treated to almost stadium kind seating back here. 2 nets. Also have a regular power outlet and USB-Cs all over. There's actually 4 total, 2 here, actually 5, 2 in here, and then 1 up front. Just talking about this interior a little bit, just slide over. This one does have, this one is optioned up at around $50,000. We're going to get into whether we think this car is really worth that or not. Again, Mercedes, everything's a la carte. This one starts at 38-ish or so. However, it does have an all-wheel drive 4MATIC system that adds a couple thousand, and you're going to want that. So let's just say this thing starts out at about 40. This one has the AMG Appearance Package, which gives you that really nice steering wheel, gives you the sports pedals, the nice wheels outside, the extra, the really nice seating, the sports seating in here. This also has the technology package, which gives you that double screen up there. And this one has heated seats, again, another a la carte feature. This one has a park assist, which I'll also demonstrate, and it also has the sunroof. So all told, this one's getting really, really close to $50,000. Now this interior, as we get out and take this for a drive, this interior does hit a home run for a lot of reasons. It looks great. It works almost as good as it looks. And it's just really cool that Mercedes has done something different than all the other manufacturers are doing, and just giving this a really, really unique look. One thing this does not have, it does not have any of the adaptive cruise or lane keep assist functions in it. It also does not have any type of navigation. Those are going to be a couple more a la carte options that would add up and take this thing into the mid-50s really, really fast. The other thing this does have is the upgraded Burmeister sound system, and I think that's like a $900 option. So all told, this one here sits right around $50K. Okay, just hopping back in the front here. As we get out, so again, a little bit of a hit and miss on the interior. It looks great. Looks absolutely stunning. Everything in here touches, all the buttons feel good. Everything is just what you'd expect out of a $50,000 car. You know, there are some cheap places like this glove box, some cheap plastics here. These grab handles look good, but, you know, a little plasticky. I'm not going to fault any of that. One thing I do like about sort of, again, that boxy sort of Mini Cooper-ish kind of feel is this really, really short dash and this upright windshield. It really gives you really, really good visibility. Visibility in here is awesome. A lot of folks have made a lot of hay over the ambient lighting in here, which I don't have its daytime right now, but I do have some footage I'll probably show right now of that. It's beautiful. It's not an expensive option, maybe $400 or something like that. There's a couple things about it, you know, it's a little bit of a gimmick. I do like ambient lighting. I do like the footwells lit up. I do like some of the other areas that are lit up. However, this ambient lighting does not light up anything in this area here, which is where all your junk is going to go. And when you're trying to fish for something. So you do have to turn on your reading lights and to get into there. The other thing is the ambient lighting has a strip across here, and it has 2 strips up the side here. And I found driving at night that it does kind of bother you, and you have to set it and tone it down as much as you can. The center area right here, again, you know, they give you this nice little handhold here. There's no shifter here because the shifter is up here, Mercedes Benz style on the stalk. You get this great storage bin here, great seat, great door pockets, you know, a lot of good storage all over the place. This one does have a wireless charging option also. 2 cup holders here. Again, Mercedes gives you the option to touch this screen, which is right within your touch, or you can use this trackpad here. Probably the most beautiful gauges that I've seen as far as digital cockpit goes. A huge amount of customization you can do with that. So let's get this out on the road and take it for a spin. Let's go ahead and put this in reverse. Great backup camera with guidelines. The dual clutch right there is taking up nice and smooth. Thing has a little bit of a diesely sort of chatter to it when it's just sitting there idling. A little bit about this 8-speed dual clutch. Absolutely no issues at slow speed. It's very, very smooth. You know, no clunkiness about it. The only time it will clunk a little bit is when you're coming down to slow down. The last couple gear changes, maybe from second to first or third to second, they can get a little bit of clunkiness to it. But other than that, you wouldn't know this is a dual clutch at all. Okay, so let's get on it here. And I should mention that this has a very, very active all-wheel drive system. It's not, it anticipates, and actually I can put this on. Let's go over here to info. There we go. Actually, you can see this orange. That means the front wheels are driving. If I really get on it, you can see all 4 wheels are starting to drive the car now. Which really makes a big difference as you get this in and out of turns. So yeah, once you start driving this car, and that's really the surprising thing about the GLB, is just how much fun it is to drive. And a lot of that has to do mainly with how that 2-liter turbo and the 8-speed dual clutch interact with each other. This is incredibly responsive drivetrain. I mean, it almost anticipates what gear you need. You don't have to sort of coax it to downshift, and it's really, really smooth and quick and responsive is the best way to describe it. And we do have the binaurals going today, so put on those headphones. We're going to get this out on the highway here in a little bit later in the video, and we'll see how it sounds out there. So grab your headphones. Does have a bunch of drive modes which change your chassis stiffness, we almost like our GLI, does almost all the same things. Now I will keep it in a custom mode, which is individual. And what that does is it stiffens up the steering, the chassis a little bit. What it does not do is it does not make the drivetrain more aggressive. And the reason for that is you don't need it to be more aggressive. It gets a little, if you put it into sport mode, it just holds gears a little bit longer. But I found that, you know, given the handling of this thing, which is pretty good, but it's still a top-heavy CUV, that, you know, the drivetrain is just fine in its regular mode. It's very responsive enough, but it's nice to have a little bit stiffer steering, a little bit stiffer on the handling. Now, handling-wise, this does really, really good. This car is, you know, again, just a big surprise to drive. It's not a road carver by no means, but the combination of the steering, the lively engine and transmission, and just the suspension and this all-wheel drive system makes this really, really entertaining to drive. Just grab this corner here. A little bit of body lean, but man, it's kind of fun. Let's watch this down here as I come around here. Yeah, you can feel all 4 wheels working as you come out of those turns, and that's really what makes this, you know, makes this kind of a blast to drive. Another turn. These sport seats do grab you pretty good as that body leans over a little bit. Now, Mercedes also has...
How can I help?
Oh, no, there you go. That does have this Hey Mercedes thing, which is a little bit annoying. I don't need any help. Another little bit of a gimmick, if you ask me, like Siri or Alexa. You know, it's maybe one day those things will work great. Plenty of power, plenty of pickup. Revving this engine past 4,000 doesn't do a whole lot. It does kind of run out of steam. Ride quality is spot on. It's not a floaty ride. It's not a soft, cushy ride at all. It rides like you would expect a sport utility to ride. It's got a little bit of a bounce to it. You can feel the road, though. It's probably a combination of those lower profile tires that we have going here. But I like to feel the road. I like to feel what's going on, and it does. You do feel that through the through the suspension. But it's not a rough ride at all. It's actually very, very compliant, very, very comfortable, and just hits the mark just right for a sporty drive. Now you can paddle shift this DSG. You do have the AMG Sport Package does give you these metal paddle shifters or metal feel paddle shifters. I think they're still plastic, but they look good. You're just not going to paddle shift this thing. Again, I think the transmission tuning and logic on how they've sort of programmed it to be so responsive that, you know, you can do a spirited drive with this thing without having to do the paddle shifters. Steering is quick, good ratio on the turn in there. The other thing about this vehicle is the size. I think it's just the right size. Again, you can carry 4 adults very, very comfortably. There is a third row option in this thing. And what we found is in the city, we drove this in Chicago because we went out to the auto show. This was a great city car. It was easy to park in places that we needed to park it. It was easy to maneuver. And yeah, just right sized. Woo! This is fun. This is a fun car to hustle. Brakes are really, really good. The pedal feel is great. I'm not sure how strong the brakes are. They feel pretty strong. You know, and that's the thing about this car in general is how solid it feels. You know, it definitely feels like something different than the mainstream as far as its solidity goes. You know, it's just a really solid car. And when the brakes, you know, the brake pedal is very linear there, as you can tell, stopping there. Just a really, really good feel to the brake pedal. There's no real bite point in it, and very, very linear. Got a little bit of a growl to it. Again, adding to that personality. Going over some tracks here. No rattles. Not a sports sedan. It'll never fool you into thinking it's a sports sedan. Maybe that AMG 35 will do something with this suspension. Now, the other thing I will tell you about this GLB is it is not a quiet car. I don't know if the binaurals are picking up the road noise. Road noise is its dominant noise. The engine noise is very, very muted. What does come through is very, very pleasant. Out on the highway, when we get it out there is no engine noise. It's so muted. But a lot of road noise gets in. It doesn't really, it's not an annoyance. It doesn't have that sort of luxury car silence to it. But given the playfulness of the car, it doesn't really hinder. You kind of almost welcome it. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Talk about this infotainment system. It does look beautiful. As you can see, Apple CarPlay only takes up about 8 inches, so it's not bigger than a lot of systems out there. As far as how you interact with it, so the center screen here, you can control all 3 screens and set them to whatever you want using this little trackpad here. It works pretty good. It's one of those things where, you know, doing it while you're driving I think is distracting, but you can configure, you know, all these screens to whatever you want. Now on the right side here is an identical touchpad, but this controls this touchscreen right here. And again, this is a touchscreen. You also have this trackpad down here that also controls the touchscreen. After a week in this car, I will guarantee you will never use any of these. You will touch this all the time. And that brings up sort of an ergonomic issue that I have with this touchscreen, and that's that it's recessed back. You have these beautiful vents that stick out. So to get into this area here, you cannot come up at it like you do some touchscreens that sit flush with the dash. This one, you know, it's a little bit of a first world issue, of course, but it's just not, you know, it's a little bit of an ergonomic issue to get down into this area and touch this part of the screen, because you will touch it. You will not use this. Let's get this out on the highway. Kicks you in your butt there a little bit. Drove this car like 11 hours straight. I was not tired. Again, it's just based on how engaging this drivetrain is. You know, no issues ever with passing, because the transmission just downshifts and does it just smoothly, does everything for you. Just really, really good. Again, a lot of wind buffeting this shape. This is kind of a brick in the wind. But anyway, these seats are very, very firm, you know, but supportive. So again, 11, 10-hour trip the other day driving this through all kinds of crazy weather was always really, really comfortable. The other thing, you know, let's just talk about fuel mileage really, really quick here. You know, this is rated for 30 on the highway, but we were not able to achieve that. I think over, you know, 1,500 miles, 90% highway driving, we averaged about 26 or 27 mpgs. Again, you know, not sure why that is, but probably because it's a brick, and it does better on the EPA cycle at a lower speed than what we were doing. Not the quietest car. Again, this sound system, this Burmeister, you know, is it worth the $900? I don't know. I'd never heard the regular bass sound system. This one sounds rich. It sounds, you know, luxury carish. It's not very bright. You almost need a little bit crisper highs than it has. But anyway, let's do a little bit of a play here. Now, volume control is really cool. You have these nice knurled dial right here. For me, the passenger, turn this down. The passenger, you know, has it right here. Anyway, let's listen for a second. Let's get this back and wrap it up. Well, there you have it. The Mercedes GLB 250. Yeah, as you can tell, I really like this car. I spent a lot of time in cars, at different cars, but man, this one really struck a chord with me, mainly because it's fun to be in, it's fun to drive, it's fun to look at. So yeah, I think Mercedes really hit a good spot and made a unique product here. The question is it really worth $50,000? And that's just a hard question to ask. You get you know, before you even put on any of the options, you get a great driving car, you get a car that's fun to be in, you get a car that's fun to look at with a lot of utility, and you can do that right around $40,000. However, you're not going to have any bells and whistles, and that's just kind of a tough one. But here at Beyond the Test Drive, we value driving. Does it make you want to go for a drive? Does it make you want to go for a trip? Does it make you want to go somewhere just for no reason, just because it's fun to get in and go? And I think this GLB does hit the mark when it comes to that. So if I had to kind of cash and I was looking to spend 50 grand, I would definitely look here. So definitely leave your questions and comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this sort of class of vehicle. And give us a thumbs up if you found this at all useful, and consider subscribing. So again, thanks for watching, and have a great day, morning or evening, wherever you are.